Hi, I'm Mike Dano with Light Reading, and we're here at the big Mobile World Congress trade show in Vegas, and I'm here with Christian from Pollen. And I would say that Pollen is one of the, I wouldn't say, is it the most interesting company that we've got here in the wireless industry? It's certainly one of the most interesting. I mean, Pollen is working on cryptocurrency, it's working on decentralized wireless, there's CBRS involved, like you've got a lot of stuff going on at Pollen. And it's sort of, it's in the same realm as Helium. There's a couple of other companies that are sort of working in this area. So maybe you can just tell us a little bit, like, where did Pollen come from? What's the origin story of Pollen?
Sure, and thanks for having me.
Yeah.
So Pollen was actually started, it's a subsidiary of a company called Pronto.
Okay.
We make self-driving technology, focused on the off-road market, starting with the mining industry. And the trucks need connectivity. Mines, not surprisingly, don't have great wireless connectivity. So we looked at a lot of different options, mesh Wi-Fi, private networks that were available. Everything was expensive and or clunky or didn't work well. So with the advent of CBRS, we started building our own cell networks to provide the connectivity to these remote sites. And our founder had an insight, a realization one day that driving home from a mine site in the middle of the desert here in Nevada, he was getting better cell coverage there than he was in the middle of Silicon Valley. So the light bulb kind of went off and realized there's a much bigger problem to solve here. So that was the genesis of Pollen. There's a lot of similarities to Helium. We obviously knew of Helium and saw the tremendous amount of success that they had in building physical infrastructure using a crypto incentive. And we had a little bit of a different vision for how to go about doing that. From the beginning, we've been very clear that we think there's a huge opportunity to be a next generation carrier. There's a lot of challenges and frustrations that consumers have with existing services. You know, it's a highly concentrated industry. And we think especially with younger generations and kind of crypto natives, there's a huge opportunity to offer something different, something built around privacy, and something built around giving people the control over their own network. So if you have a dead spot in your house or your business, or a place where you travel frequently, a neighborhood bar, now you have the ability to fix that yourself in a very affordable way and become an entrepreneur and monetize and earn money doing that. So that's kind of the big picture vision for Pollen. And there's a lot of other things that we can do kind of between here and there to monetize the network. So neutral host is certainly part of it. That's hard to do. It's not something that we underwrote to doing right out of the gate. It's something we're working on. And then there's lots of interesting private networking solutions, fixed wireless solutions, bunch of different things you can do when you have a very low cost, consumer-friendly plug-and-play solution to wireless connectivity.
Yeah. I mean, we're here at the Mobile World Congress show. This is a show that is primarily put on by companies like Verizon and companies like Qualcomm that, their whole business is built around spending billions of dollars on spectrum licenses, and then spending billions of more dollars on these like giant cell towers and these super expensive radios from companies like Ericsson. And so like having Pollen come to this show it's like it could not be any different the goal is the same, getting people connected, but the mechanism to get them connected could not be any more different than this, the established cellular industry.
Yeah,
right?
in many ways, absolutely. It is turning a lot of things on its head, for sure. But one thing that we've been very focused on, and we try to highlight in our social media and to some of the commercial partners we're working with, this is mission critical infrastructure. So we have been very focused on partnering with folks who've got the expertise and have got the capital to deploy the Pollen network in a very professional way. So there's a role for the retail, the kind of onesies, twosies to help fill in the coverage, especially the really hard to reach ones. And there's also a role for kind of the next generation mini tower companies, right? I know you've written about Hexagon Wireless.
Yeah.
They've been a great partner. We've got a bunch of partners like them who are doing some really, really impressive stuff. I call it carrier grade. The carriers and the tower companies might take issue with that, but we're really focused on building a network that can provide that kind of mission critical quality of service that consumers and MNOs and MVNOs have come to expect.
Would use, okay. And so, and again, just to be clear, is that the design of Pollen is that, I or you or my wife or, somebody buys the equipment, puts it on their roof, broadcasts the signal, and then is rewarded with Pollen cryptocurrency. That's the
general
basic
premise.
idea.
Yes.
Okay. But it really sounds like what you're doing is, it's not just individual people. It might be a upstart tower company or somebody who owns a lot of real estate. Those are the kind of people that you think may also be signing on to this idea of this network.
Absolutely, yeah. And some of our biggest customers are those folks.
Okay. So yeah, we're talking people who are not necessarily part of the industry now, but could easily get in this way.
Yeah, there's folks who had nothing to do with this industry previously, and they got into it. Again, this technology becoming affordable and accessible, the blockchain element makes it something that it's very consumer friendly. It's something you can grasp, right? Like the idea of solving your own connectivity 5 years ago, you'd be like, well, what are you talking about?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't have a Verizon tower to put in my backyard. So there's a lot of folks who are brand new, and it's amazing to see how smart, creative. I was just talking with a couple guys last night in our community who have no background in telecom, and they were pitching this amazing idea for this hybrid business model that blends kind of different elements of traditional telecom business models that I won't go into yet. But
that's where we are, is like you've got the opportunity to create a new way of building out these networks.
Yeah, and it's the power of democratizing it and kind of outsourcing, crowdsourcing the ideas and the entrepreneurial energy. And it's amazing to see what folks are doing.
Okay. And so from the skeptic's point of view, though, I'm sure that you're hearing a lot of the arguments where, first of all, the CBRS spectrum that you're using is relatively low power. It does not cover huge areas. It's sort of a more localized transmission distance on that spectrum, and that coverage is definitely going to be spotty. And so I'm assuming that you're not looking at the Pollen network as a instant replacement for a Verizon network, right?
Correct.
Okay.
That's right.
So, in the next 2 years, like what's the goal with Pollen? Like, and the reason I ask is because Helium just announced an MVNO deal where their customers would be on T-Mobile's network, but then would go on to the Helium network in places where that was available. Mm-hmm. So I'm wondering if Pollen has the same sort of ideas.
Yeah.
What's the next step, I guess?
Sure.
Yeah.
We like to. We're probably overly generous in using this analogy, but we like to take the Apple approach, where we don't like to announce things until they're ready and they're real and they're live. So it's hard sometimes to not. We want to tell everybody all the exciting stuff we're doing.
But there is a plan, it sounds like.
There's a plan.
It's not just, let's see what happens next.
We're not just like throwing radios out there. Okay. You get a radio. The overarching goal that guides everything that we're doing, all the energy and capital, human and financial that we're investing, is to get to paid data flowing through the network as soon as possible.
Okay.
Because if we don't do that, then this has just been a fun crypto project. Yes. We want to build a real business, real usable piece of infrastructure in a unique way. So we're working on everything from the neutral host data offload to becoming the next generation carrier, and everything in between. We're kind of pursuing all paths in parallel. We hope that we announced this on our community call Monday. Today's Wednesday, so yes, 2 days ago. That we hope by the end of the year we will have paid data flowing through the network. We're not promising that, but it's a goal we're working towards. And if we don't hit that goal, it'll be shortly thereafter, hopefully. But that's what we're laser focused on, right? We could just be focused on getting more radios out there and getting the counts up. Mm-hmm. That's exciting. That's great. That's a great metric. But ultimately, that's not going to be the key to building a profitable commercial enterprise.
All right, paid data. So, all right, last question is, we're here at the Mobile World Congress show, and you're here as attendee, I'm here as press. Is there a point where we'll see you on the big keynote stage, presenting Pollen as an opportunity, and when might that be?
I don't think that's up to us. We'd love to do that.
Okay.
If I had to bet on it, I'd say yeah, but like, not my decision.
Okay, so we'll say maybe 2-3 years. We'll see how it goes. That's what I'm hoping for.
That'd be amazing.
Okay,
We'd love that.
sounds good. Well, we're looking forward to it. Thanks so much.
As am I.
Appreciate it.
Thanks very much.